Alright, so I finally saw a January movie that came out 2 weeks ago that I don't think very many people cared to see because, January movies. But, you know what? I'm gonna talk about it anyway. Underwater is a science fiction horror movie starring Kristen Stewart, T.J. Miller, and a few other actors whose names I can't remember. In fact, I'm not even sure if I know who these people are. I'll probably look at the list of actors after this review's over, and I'll be like, oh, maybe I did see that person somewhere. Maybe. Probably not, though. But who knows? So in this movie, you have Kristen Stewart. She is among this group of underwater scientists, divers. I'm not entirely sure what these guys do, but they work at the very bottom of the ocean floor, 7 miles below the surface. They're doing some research down there, some very deep sea diving, and on one of these days, one of their underwater bunkers, I would call it. Their stations, anyway. It just completely goes to shit, and in order to get back to the surface world, they gotta cross across the ocean floor, go into this dark, scary underwater trench to get to the other station, or in order to get into an escape pod that'll take them to the ocean floor. All the while, as they are investigating the damages of their station and what it's gonna take to get to the other station, there is something out there that's hunting them. That is basically the gist of this movie. It's an incredibly simple plot. Nothing beyond that really happens in the movie, so I guess I'll just delve right into what worked and what didn't work in this movie. Okay, first of all, I'll say this right now. Kristen Stewart, she's fine in this movie. I don't know what it is. I think because she was in Twilight, I'm just never ever gonna be fully on board with her as an actress. I'm just never gonna get over her awful deliverance of those awful scripts from those awful Twilight movies out of my head. It's part of the reason why I'm still not fully on board with Robert Pattinson as a new Batman. Things like that I'm just never gonna get out of my head, so I don't know how fully I'll be able to support her as an actress. But I will say in this movie she did fine. T.J. Miller is the other actor that I know in this movie, and he's T.J. Miller in the movie. He's the funny comic relief, wisecracking guy who's, basically I guess in this movie you could say to relieve, tension in the group, just make a very inappropriate, ill-timed joke when something serious is happening. The kind of person that you don't think would ever exist in real life because, when situations are this intense and this dire, you highly doubt someone's gonna make a joke like that, but this is a movie, and you need to make people laugh in certain moments to make it a movie. Or at least to relieve the tension among the characters, which I never fully understand that in horror movies. If movies try to be a horror movie, I don't understand why they want to have the comedy in it. I don't know. I think everyone's just trying to copy Jordan Peele at this point. Hey, people love some laughs in their horror movies, people. Throw more in there. And, the movie does kind of do its little horror movie cliche, like, you just have this group of people, they're trying to survive, you learn a little bit about each of them, like, 2 of the crew members are in a relationship with each other, another one who's basically the captain of the crew, he's got a family on, the surface, something like that anyway. And it's just them trying to get across the ocean floor, except what we discover is when they're out there in the darkness, something is coming after them, some very creepy demon, alien, water thing is just dragging each of them away. Some of them are getting rescued, some eventually get killed. T.J. Miller is one of them. I think he got like pulled out of the suit and like blood splattered everywhere on his helmet. I don't know exactly what happened. I think I remember seeing that in the movie, and I was like, I don't know how much that makes sense because, that seems more like a space scene. I don't know if it feels more like a water thing. Granted, they're so deep in the ocean surface, maybe the pressure would just crush his head and explode or something like that. I don't fully know. I'm not even so sure if that happened. I guess that's part of the thing. Maybe it's because I did wait a little while to get this review up, but I will also say the movie's just not super memorable. I'm not necessarily saying this movie is bad, because it's not bad. I will say, as far as a sci-fi horror movie can go, it is pretty thrilling at times. The movie knows, alright, when they're going through the surface and there's darkness everywhere, you're sitting there like, okay, something's out there. Every little moment you're thinking to yourself, it's gonna jump out here, it's gonna jump out there, and then eventually the thing does jump out and it kills someone, and you're just like, oh shit. Maybe you did see it coming, or maybe you're like me and you didn't see that coming. I'm so bad at predicting jump scares. So I guess I'll say that, for me anyway, when it came to the jump scares in this movie, they were effective. I didn't know they were gonna happen. And you are rooting for these characters to get there. Like, the movie does enough development with these characters that you don't want to see them die. It's not like a lot of horror movies where it's like you have a group of people, it's like, okay, they're all gonna die, and you're supposed to care about maybe 1 or 2 of them. This one, genuinely speaking, you wanted everyone to live. I mean, you're not gonna cry when anyone dies or anything like that, but you will be like, oh man, that person died. We'll give the movie props for that, for making me give a shit. But I will say, as far as like big, holy shit moments that you're never gonna forget, that are gonna stick with you after the movie, it doesn't really have anything like that. Because for me, the movie's just, it's a very simple, ordinary movie. It's not a bad movie, but it's not a good movie either. It just looks a lot better. I think it's getting reviewed a lot better than typical January movies do, because it is a lot better than most January movies are. Most January movies are fucking terrible, and this isn't fucking terrible. It's, you know, average. Even the little evil demon things that are hunting these guys, I actually thought they were pretty interesting. I mean, you don't really, they're just kind of like, I don't know what they are. They're just like these humanoid squid things that attack them. And what I also thought was interesting is you feel like they're all like little, I don't know, symbiotic beings that are attached to this giant, evil, kraken-looking monster. I will say this much though, when it came to these like aliens or these monsters or this big kraken or whatever you want to call it, I wish we got a little bit more of an explanation on what it is. Like, you know, what is that thing? Where does it come from? You know, why is it doing what it's doing? I mean, you could argue maybe it's just an animal hunting or something like that, but I don't know, I thought it would have maybe been cool if, like, you know, maybe it was related to, like, an old prehistoric animal that lived way back in the day. Like, kind of like what they do with the Megalodon movies. Like, oh, we thought this thing was extinct. It's actually not extinct. In fact, over time it evolved and now it's this super evil kaiju thing. Or if it was just an alien from outer space, I mean, I'd be fine with that too, but I want a little bit more of an explanation on it, more of an exploration, I should say. The movie was just like, okay, we need a big evil creature to hunt these people, so here, put this in it. Cool, done. I guess for me, that's where the Januaryism kind of came out of this movie for me, so that's why I kind of had a problem with that. I'm just like, I would have liked to have known more of what that was. And so, you know, the crew eventually makes it through all the stations, makes it through the ocean floor. Well, not all of them do. It's down to Kristen Stewart and the couple that you're supposed to care about. And, you know, unfortunately, there's only 2 escape pods left that can work, and Kristen Stewart decides, okay, here's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna send both of you to the surface so you can survive. I'm gonna stay down here, and I'm gonna do the human sacrifice, and I'm gonna detonate this final fleet, this final station, I should say, and hopefully it's gonna take out the creature, and, you know, it won't harm any other people. It won't harm any other, you know, ocean people who come down here to study. Yeah, she hits the eject button so the couple can get away, but you know, the evil creatures are still coming after them, so she's got to detonate the station. Now that goes kablooey, and you know, she takes all the creatures with it. I will say at the end of the movie though, what I did find kind of funny is like it shows like these little clips of like what, you know, the survivors dealt with. Like they were interrogated by the government. It's like, okay, the whole research system got shut down. It's like they were told never to speak a word of what they saw. You hear stuff like that, I'm like, was the movie trying to set up for a sequel to explore more on what these creatures were, or was it like, we really don't know what to call this thing or what origin to give this thing, so literally make it so like the characters can't say shit to the government. Just shut that down entirely. Yeah, all in all, that's underwater for you people. It's a very ordinary movie. The actors all do fine. I mean, this definitely isn't the best work for I think any of them. But you know, the movie did develop the characters enough to make you care about them, to make you want to see them survive. The movie does have some intense, occasionally scary moments that you do not see coming. It definitely has you on the edge of your seat at times. It did for me anyway. The movie does a good job of putting you in the situation like, yeah, you're there, you're at the bottom of the ocean floor, and you gotta get to the other station in order to survive, in order to live, and you have such little time to do so. But I will say, nothing really big happens in this movie. I would have liked more of an exploration on whatever creature it was that was hunting the people, whatever demon it was, whatever the hell that thing was. I don't know what it was. And in the end, by the end of the year, it's definitely not a movie that I'm gonna remember much of, but I will also say, I don't feel like I got robbed seeing the movie, so that's at least something. And I guess I should say, for January anyway, that's a victory. So that's all I gotta say, guys. Thank you so much for watching my video. Don't forget to leave a comment, like, subscribe, and I'll see you all next time.